The Minam was on everybody's mind. Everybody's mind. The ELK Foundation made a run at it around 2000. We couldn't get to the finish line at that time. ODFNW has been pursuing this property since the 1950s. People are smiling down on us because we're getting this done. I want to welcome you to the Minam River Wildlife Area Acquisition Project. And so you saw phase one as you came in. It's about 4,600 plus acres.
This group of RMEF volunteers and donors is here today as the result of hard work and great perseverance.
I've been with the agency for 30 years this year, and this is the 7th opportunity that we've had to attempt to make a purchase on the property.
The privately owned Minam property was a priority for RMEF and Oregon Department of Fish and Wildlife, and if the time came to make these lands public, they would be ready.
If there's any opportunity to pursue an acquisition of the Minam, we've got to seize it. That opportunity came up through a local contact, and we're going to get it done.
Following decades of attempts, the Rocky Mountain Elk Foundation and the Oregon Department of Fish and Wildlife were able to purchase 4,610 acres of the Minam property at the end of 2021, working hand in hand with the ownership group Manulife.
We would not be here today without Rocky Mountain Elk Foundation's involvement in this project. So very excited to be here today and be able to celebrate this with everyone.
In typical RMEF fashion, once they become involved in a project like the Minam, they stay involved. Today is the first volunteer project on this property.
When we heard about the project and we were invited to come over, we were, of course, pleased to be able to do so. And the Minam project is a great example of what the ELK Foundation can do in terms of opening access and protecting access.
And to hear the history and to hear the stories and then work side by side with these guys that have basically spent their whole life to try to open this up to the public, it's really remarkable.
This really hits home with a lot of us. We come over here, we hunt here, and so to be a part of something even bigger than us, but also right in our backyard is just really something special.
Super neat to be boots on the ground and actually doing the work and see what truly the RMEF is all about and where those membership dollars are being focused and how rewarding that is.
I like going home feeling like I really did something and being able to tangibly see that I've done something. I saw a lot of passion from all the other individuals involved today, and it's inspiring. Just to look around some of this hillside is inspiring. I mean, how could you not be moved to protect this place and also make it accessible?
In an opportunity like this where they're able to acquire a private chunk of property and put it back into the public's hands, that's huge. Rocky Mountain Elk Foundation is one of the leaders in that, and no other organization does it like they do, and they've done it for a long time, and they're really good at it, giving it back to the people. I know there's a lot of organizations say they do, but they're actually doing it. I'm standing on it.
So right at the confluence there, just below that, is where the property boundary is. So we've already completed the first phase back in 2021, and that was about 1/3 of the overall property. And now we're moving on to pulling off the acquisition of phase 2.
Acquiring the 4,610-acre Phase 1 part of the property was a major milestone. However, this project will only be considered complete after the acquisition of the 10,963-acre Phase 2.
We have a firm deadline of December of 2023 for closure on phase 2. We really want to capitalize on the momentum from phase 1. The excitement going into the phase 2 portion of this purchase is going to be critical for us from a resource standpoint, whether it's financial resources or resources on the ground.
About 2.5 miles of this phase 2 property is a boundary with the Eagle Cap Wilderness area.
The Minam project will bridge tens of thousands of acres of existing public lands. On the north end of Phase 1 is the Minam State Recreation Area. On the south end of Phase 2 lies the Wallowa-Whitman National Forest, including the federally designated Eagle Cap Wilderness Area.
And creating connectivity between the wilderness area, the public land, carrying down through this property and connecting to the Minam River State Park and associated BLM lands that go down. One of our kind of critical reasons for being interested in this property is the important winter range it provides. Being located right adjacent to the Wallowa Mountains and the Eagle Cap Wilderness, a large portion of the elk that utilize that wilderness area migrate out every year into the lower elevation slopes of this property that is their primary winter range to get through the winter.
So yeah, it's an incredible opportunity to preserve somewhat of what is truly traditional winter range.
In the summer of 2021, a report focusing on water quality, recreational value, and the ability to support rare or at-risk species ranked the Minam River as the second most ecologically important river in all of Oregon.
After this acquisition's completed, there's going to be less than a mile of the Minam River that is not in public ownership.
And this acquisition in the lower end places the entire Minam River almost entirely within public ownership. And with that, we can exercise best practices that helps, maintain connectivity from the top ridge tops to the river bottoms and do work that benefits all species, including salmon, steelhead, bull trout, lamprey, and coho salmon that are present in the Minam River watershed.
Not only does it offer life-sustaining sustenance for elk, but it serves as pivotal riparian habitat for a myriad of wildlife, bird, fish, insect, and plant species.
It's getting harder and harder to find a place to go and recreate, and these projects are important because it solidifies access. I mean, you hear everybody talk about access. You see the numbers of people, the decreasing, and it's driven, I think, because it's harder and harder to find a place to go.
I think that certainly listening to their stories, it takes a village, and really happy that I could have a small part in it.
The local economy in the summertime is based around tourism, so anytime we can increase access and improve access, it's a good thing for the local economy.
We've been working for several decades with Rocky Mountain Elk Foundation to get to the point we are today where we can permanently conserve this property.
A lot of the people I worked with are long since gone, and I know they would be extremely pleased.
There's some just phenomenal history here. To be the highlight of my career, and it's one of the greatest success stories we've had in this area in a long time.
The Minam is the most important acquisition that ODF&W has ever taken on. It's one of the most important acquisitions the Rocky Mountain Elk Foundation has taken on.
It's important to complete Phase 2 because the project isn't done.
Critical from a wildlife standpoint. Could have been split to 62 240-acre parcels, each with their own home site.
It just needs to be an entire package, and until we get it done, we shouldn't rest.
RMEF needs your help to finalize Phase 2 by December of 2023. Become a member today, donate, or learn more at rmef.org/Minam to help secure this critical piece of habitat.
For access, for scenery, for tourism, and especially for hunting and fishing, the Minam has got it all.